Today we're going to be looking at the AQA GCSE Religious Studies A, and one of the theme studies. This time we're going to be looking at religion, crime and punishment. And Sally, you're going to take us through on this, I believe.
I am. Thank you for asking me to come, CJ. It's an honour.
Good, excellent. And what about this stuff called crime? What's that all about?
Right, crime. Crime is something that someone does, an action, but it's something that breaks the law of the land where they live. So it could be, for example, something against a person, something like murder. It could be something against someone's property, like burglary or vandalism.
Yeah.
Or it could be something against the entire state, so treason would be a good example.
Okay, like if Liz unfortunately was killed, would that be treason?
That would be an example of treason. That is definitely breaking the law.
Okay, good, thank you. And why do these people do these things? Why do they commit these crimes?
Not an easy answer to that one. Lots and lots of different reasons. Some of them are probably to do with their environment, so the way that they've been brought up. It could be that they've got some issues like addiction.
What sort of addictions might they have?
Might have an addiction to a drug, might have an addiction to alcohol, might be brought up in a house where other people have those addictions. So all those things can have a big impact on people as they're growing up.
Okay.
They could live in an area where there's lots of poverty. They might not have a lot of job opportunities, and all of these sorts of things can lead people to committing crime. Unfortunately, some people, however, have more deep-rooted problems, psychological problems.
Oh, okay.
Things like mental health conditions, disorders that might make them act in a way that other people wouldn't act.
Okay.
Some people think that it's possible to be born evil.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And it could be that people are born evil and that they are evil people, or it might just be that their actions are evil.
Okay, and other people might just be greedy, I suppose, wanting to just get things which they can't get otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. So they just want things that they can't have, and so they try to get them, and in the process of doing so, break the law.
So how are we going to stop that?
Well, luckily in this country, we have a little thing called the law.
Right.
So the law is a list of requirements, something that we all have to stick to, and unfortunately, if you don't stick to that law, then there are consequences.
Okay, and I've heard this phrase law and order.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah, so the order part of it is where we have authorities in place that try to stop people breaking the law, and if they continue to break the law, then they will obviously be punished.
Okay, and when we do have crimes, obviously we have people who are directly affected by crimes, aren't they, who are called victims.
Yeah.
What sort of crimes could we possibly have?
Right, so there's obviously lots of different crimes, particularly against people, but there are victims that are probably involved in lots of different crimes. So an example could be theft, so when someone takes something that doesn't belong to them.
Okay, like a mobile phone or a wallet, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then something a little bit more difficult, but on the rise, unfortunately, at the moment, hate crime.
Yeah, absolutely. So a crime that's committed because people have a strong hatred and perhaps even a fear of another person or group of people. So unfortunately, we're seeing that quite a lot against people because of their religion or because of their gender or because of their sexuality. And there, unfortunately, is loads of it.
Going on, isn't it? And of course, the worst one, which a lot of people would talk about, would be murder.
Absolutely, yeah. So murder, the killing or the taking of life of another person. So yeah, that's probably the most serious of crimes.
Okay, and there's, I believe there's one very notorious, unfortunately, serial killer in the UK who killed over 200 people. Who was that?
Absolutely. So I think you're talking with Dr. Harold Shipman, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't found out for ages, and he, being a doctor, he was able to conceal his crime for quite a long time, which is why we don't know how many people he actually killed, probably over 200. He was probably in this country, biggest notorious serial killer that we've had.
Okay, so that's different aspects in regard to crimes, the types of crimes, and why some people unfortunately do commit crime. Thank you very much, Miss Sally.